Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at what I can really only describe as a extremely disturbing video of British police, several of them actually, dragging an autistic girl out of her home for basically insulting, quote-unquote, one of the police officers. Like, I've been doing some more research into this story because, like, at first I didn't know the full context, right? Like, why the police were even there, what exactly was going on, right? But this story is just disturbing to say the least. I mean, here in the United States, right, we see news all the time about, police brutality and people having bad run-ins with the police and whatnot, right? But it's not very often, I feel like, that we hear about like a European cop or like an Asian cop, something like that, doing something like this, right? We don't really hear about stuff like that, I feel like. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but I feel like it probably happens like a lot less than it does here. But I simply, as an American, can never imagine a situation like this legally taking place in our country. So, I mean, for example, here in the United States, I mean, your freedom of speech is pretty heavily protected. I mean, people say all the time, oh, free speech is under assault, America's eradicating the First Amendment and things, but like, the reality of the situation is, man, you can really say a lot of shit here. So, this autistic girl apparently told a female police officer that she looked like her grandmother who was a lesbian. And according to that police officer, this violated a homophobic public offense and was worthy of arresting the girl over. So, for instance, like in the US, that would never happen legally, right? Like, you can pretty much insult damn near anyone in government you want. Like, obviously you can't say like crazy shit like, oh, I'm gonna make sure these fucking politicians pay or shit like that, right? But like, at the end of the day, bro, like if I wanted to say, for instance, that Biden looks like a halfway melted ice cream cone and was a geriatric old fuck, I mean, that's fully legal. I could say that shit, you know what I mean? Or for instance, if I was out in public and a cop looked like a lesbian, I could look at that cop and be like, hey, yo, you look like a fucking lesbian. And I mean, like, they're not about to arrest me over that, right? So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to play the video. I'm not gonna lie, it is a little rough to watch. Like, the girl is very clearly distressed. It's an extremely uncomforting situation. It really was never this serious, to say the least. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the footage.
She's made a comment in her own house. You've got her on camera. She hasn't said anything to you. Don't matter. She never got cameras on. She's getting arrested. She's getting arrested. Why are you doing? Units coming. Don't worry. She hasn't done anything. She's autistic. I don't care. She's autistic. I know you don't care. I'm telling you, I've got units coming. She's going to be arrested tonight. I'll wait till the police officer's coming. I'll explain what happened. If I get put in,
that's why we've got her on in the first place.
Fucking bitch, what me if I get put in? Calm down. She's autistic. Can you stop staring at her, please? She's got autism. Can you just stand there? She's in a cupboard. She can't go anywhere. She can't go anywhere. Stand there, dear.
Alright, so the girl is cowering in the corner. She's clearly distressed. According to the mom, she eventually starts like punching herself because she's freaking out. Keep in mind, she's autistic, so she has social issues as is, right? And then under duress in situations like this, that can amplify pretty fucking significantly. So I guess she said this in public and the cops like took her home or followed her home, and then they like went in the fucking house and cornered this family trying to arrest this girl for saying that this cop looked like her lesbian grandma. And here's a picture of the cop, and I mean, what am I supposed to say here, bro? Like, what exactly am I supposed to fucking say? Let's just say this. In the purest, nicest way possible, she very stereotypically looks like a fucking lesbian. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying being lesbian's a bad thing, but saying that this woman looks like she enjoys penis is just not an accurate statement, I feel like. So, the girl wasn't even really wrong, if you ask me, bro, and she's being fucking arrested for saying that. And let's keep in mind, she said, she didn't like call her a slur or anything like that, right? She just said, you look like my lesbian nana, which is like the British way way of saying grandma or whatever, right? So how the fuck is this worthy of all of these police officers coming in someone's house and fucking dragging them out of the house to arrest them, man? Like, and pretty incredible too that this woman is pleading with the cop like the mom is, right? Please, my daughter has autism. She's got autism. She has a fucking problem, right? And this cop just repeatedly is just, oh, I don't care. I don't care about that. She's getting arrested. Nothing builds public trust like police officers invading people's homes to arrest autistic children while they demand they come back with them because they, quote, don't care about their fucking disabilities, right? Nothing really makes people say, oh, I like cops like that.
They're going to remove her for what? Because you're bothered. Think she said the word lesbian. Her nana is a lesbian. She's married to a woman. She's not homophobic. Look what you're clenching your fist. Go away from my teenage daughter.
What is up with you? Right.
There's something wrong with you, mate. She didn't aim it at the police officer.
It's not homophobic remarks at my colleagues.
It's not a homophobic remark. She said, I think she's a lesbian like Nana.
If you want to bully people, you'll just get one of them badges there. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd it go?
Where's this? Does it go to
Right under there.
She's autistic. She don't like people touching her. She will have a meltdown. She won't come out. She's got autism. I'm Lisa.
Talk to her so she can come out. Because we're trying not to do this, aren't we? We've been trying for a long time.
But she hasn't done nothing wrong. That officer out there has assaulted me for no reason. She's got autism.
I don't know, man. They're trying to make it out like she insulted the cop by saying that. First and foremost, I don't think insulting police officers should be a crime. I just don't. Like, I don't care how you insult them. I don't care if you say they look like a flat-footed fucking idiot, right? I don't care if you say the worst insult possible, right? Like, that shouldn't be a crime. I mean, insulting a fucking authority figure should not be a crime. There's a big difference between insulting somebody and threatening them or menacing them or something, right? That it just shouldn't be a fucking crime. It really shouldn't. And the fact of the matter that apparently saying homophobic things is a crime in the first place is fucking wild. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree. I don't think that people should be walking around the streets calling people the F slur and being assholes, right? I mean, there should definitely be social repercussions for that, and moral issues are definitely arisen there, but the idea that you can be arrested for, quote, saying something homophobic, that just seems fucking over the top. That just seems ridiculous. You shouldn't be imprisoned for having the wrong opinion, essentially, right? It's fucking disturbing to think that that's even a possibility, right? That you can call somebody a lesbian in public in this area, and you can be fucking arrested. Not even arrested, not even they take you off the sidewalk. Half a dozen cops coming inside your house and cornering you to drag you out of the house, right? Because you called a police officer a lesbian. It's fucking absurd. There's no way to defend this, man. I feel like even if you're one of these people who you support LGBTQA rights or whatever, right? That's fine, I feel like even then you can also be at the same time yeah, that's all cool and I don't agree with people being assholes to these groups, but it shouldn't be literally a fucking crime to say the term lesbian to a cop. That's just fucking absurd, dude. That's just insane. Because if the police can crack down on you for saying shit like that, eventually what does it become? Do you get arrested for saying something that offends fucking people of color or disabled people or trans people or blind people or anything, right? What's next? What's the next step of, quote, justice here, right?
Autistic man.
The issue is, if an officer decides to arrest her...
She got arrested.
No,
they brought her home.
She's under arrest.
No, but she was going upstairs and she made a comment to me and that officer ran in my house and assaulted me and tried to get to my daughter for now.
If you want to make a complaint about any of it, that's fine.
I am going to.
That will have been on.
I am going to. Yeah, because it is on and she has.
She's now under arrest.
She was full of rage and she ran in the house and she barged me into this corner.
All right, so also apparently the girl has scoliosis and a twisted spine. That's sad, but apparently them pulling on her or dragging her in any way could cause her pain. it's fucking weird to think that so many police officers would stand by and like be cool with doing this. I don't know. Like, I like to imagine if I was a cop that I would like to disagree with shit like this, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's like in those roles. I don't know. I've never been a fucking police officer, but like, I just can't imagine standing by idly while everybody is arresting an autistic teenager because she said that a cop looked like her lesbian grandma. Like, that I don't know, dude. It would make sense, like, if she was like, hey, I'm gonna shoot the fucking cop in the face, right? It would make sense for them to arrest her at that point. Or like, if she walked up to them and was like, hey, I just detonated a bomb 4 blocks down the road, right? I would get arresting her. Or if she was like actually committing a fucking crime, like, I don't know, she was selling crack to people on the sidewalk, but it really, nothing actually happened here. Like, actually no real crime occurred. Essentially, the girl is guilty of saying something that insulted and offended a police officer because of their own fragile ego. Like, imagine the amount of mental gymnastics you have to do in the first place to like hear a girl be like, oh, hey, yeah, you look like my grandma, she's a lesbian. You remind me of her. And then you're like, this girl is calling me a lesbian and she's being homophobic. Like, that's insane fucking mental gymnastics as is, right? To try and drag it to that extent. But to then go this far is just fucking crazy, man. Now, obviously, a lot of people online have seen this video and reacted very negatively towards the police in this instance because, I mean, that's just fucking ridiculous. I didn't know that in like the UK, you could even be arrested for something like that, right? I didn't even know that that was like considered a fucking crime in a place like this. But so I did a little more research and I found out why the police reacted in the first place, right? So apparently around midnight on August 7th, the police got a call from a family member of the 16-year-old girl who was apparently intoxicated in like the city center of Leeds, and they were worried about her safety and whatnot. So the police showed up, they drove her home so she could, you know, sober up and whatnot. And then like when they got back to the house, that's when the girl was like, hey, yeah, you look like my grandma, she's a lesbian. And then that's when everything kind of fucking unfolded. So this girl was being taken home because she was publicly intoxicated and needed to go home. So they safely take her home and she makes a passing remark that isn't really that offensive and then is immediately fucking arrested for it. Like, that's just, it's bullshit, dude. It's just complete bullshit. There's absolutely no reason why this whole situation should have went this way, man. Like, I'm gonna just be honest with you here, right? Like, if you're a police officer, that is a very big role and responsibility, and personally, I'm of the opinion that is a job not meant for somebody who has an ego this fucking fragile, right? Like, if you're walking around with the power to arrest other individuals in society, you're legally allowed to carry weapons, handcuffs, fucking whatever it is, whatever tools you're using, right? And you have that authority, right? You should be mentally evaluated to make sure that you're fit for that role. Because like somebody on such a power trip that just being even like remarked to as looking like a lesbian, if that's enough to set you off to want to fucking arrest somebody, dude, you should not have that level of power. You should not have that fucking control, because that's just simply not something that somebody should go to jail for. I don't care what anyone says. So I just wanted to talk about this because of just how weird of a situation this actually is. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And with that being said, until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about this wild situation with UK police and signing out.